This is Open Mic Life. Let's go! Welcome to this week's episode. We have a very special guest coming. Welcome back to Open Mic Life, and today you're listening to the final episode of the holiday series, The Small Business Summit. We're diving into a topic that resonates deeply in our fast-paced modern world, reconnecting with our bodies. Have you ever stopped to wonder how well you truly understand the signals your body is sending you? Or how the pressures of daily life might be keeping you disconnected from yourself? My two guests today have dedicated their lives to helping people discover that connection. Anna is a chiropractor whose dream is for chiropractic care to be open to all people because it is much more than relieving back pain. It's an essential tool to optimize health, enhance well-being, and allow the body to function to its full potential. A healthy nervous system is key to ensuring your body communicates and heals efficiently. Chiropractic care helps correct interference in that communication, promoting a vibrant and healthy life. Irina owns Mindful Body, a holistic wellness practice dedicated to integrating mind and body through personalized somatic therapy. She combines mind-body pain re-education with the Feldenkrais Method to help overcome chronic pain, reduce tension and stress, and reconnect with yourself. In this episode, we'll explore their journeys as entrepreneurs, the challenges they faced in the world of holistic healing, and the transformative ways they're making a difference in people's lives. Whether you're curious about these alternative approaches or simply looking for inspiration, today's conversation will give you plenty to think about and feel. So take a moment, settle in, and join us as we unlock the power of the human body and spirit. Let's get started. Welcome to Open Mic Life.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you doing?
Great.
Very good. So today with us we have Irina and Anna, both of whom are going to speak to us about our bodies and how to feel better and how they are helping us feel better. Anna, please tell me a little bit about what you do. You're a chiropractor.
Yeah, in my background, I'm physiotherapist and chiropractor.
This is something I wanted to ask you, the difference for people who don't know.
Yeah, even for me, it was like a discovery in my life because I was physiotherapist for a long time. And then I was dealing with chronic pain, then centralization pain. And the patient get better and later time they came again. And I say like, what is happening? Then I began to be formed in another discipline, this kinesiology. And then I learned that kinesiology comes from chiropractic. That in Spain is not, I'm Spanish, and in Spain is not really well known. And then I tried myself and it was amazing. That changed my life. And I say, okay, I want to learn that and give that to my patients. It's not that it's better or not than physio. It's because it's different. Even osteopathy is different. In England, you have clinics where you have all kind of practitioners together. Then you have physio, osteopath, chiro, massagist, nutritionist, physical training. And this is the best because the patient can come and heal her body in all his shapes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then physio for me is more applied to a lesion. You have a lesion, and you came for that, and we work over that. In chiropractic, we are working with your central nervous system, like your main computer, and we are trying to take off the restriction that is making that the nervous information is not getting well in all of your body. Then maybe you can get bad position, chronic pain. In babies, they can have reflux or gastric problems, sleep problems. Maybe if you have alteration of your hormone secretion, you have a lot of cortisol that make you have a pre-diabetes. It's a risk. Then chiropractic can help you with that. You don't need to have pain to come.
Okay, yeah, I think this is probably conception that you're only going to improve something.
Yeah, and the people think that you can come and it's magic.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Okay.
No, not the way. It's like I told my patient, like it's vitamin D.
Yeah.
You should take it
Yeah.
to feel the well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's amazing because maybe you can have with a pain. We make a session and the pain is gone. Okay, but there are more things there because the pain was here for something.
Exactly. Very good. And I have more questions on this, but I also want to say welcome to Irina from Mindful Body.
Yes, thank you.
I'm very interested in this approach that you have. And you collaborate with people who are already on the podcast.
Yes.
So it was really nice to see you knowing each other and actually you collaborating this way for the same purpose, but you do different things. So can you tell us a little bit about Mindful Body and what it is?
Yes, so I created Mindful Body as a holistic wellness practice to allow people find a better way to be in their body. I came to this work from the history of my own chronic pain, and it's been there for a number of years. And as anybody would do, what do you do when you have pain? You go to doctors, you do all the checkups, then you get the endless number of physiotherapy appointments. I think I've been for over 2 years in mine, twice a week, which was helpful for like 24 hours more or less, and then it would come back. And I was doing yoga and I was doing other things, but the pain wouldn't go. So I had, it was a pain in my back, but it would be migrating. So it would change from day to day, and then it would go to the other place and come back. So, and then I did the typical thing people with chronic pain do. So you do the all the checkups, X-ray, MRI if you need to, etc., etc. Then they send you. They don't see anything structurally, so they send you to the physiotherapy. Physiotherapy kind of helps, but then not for long term. Then what do? You search for alternatives, osteopathy. If the country is, if in that country you are where you are, the osteopathy is known. If that doesn't help on the long term, then people typically go to start alternative, so acupuncture most often, and then any other things, and you go to gym or something. If you are in a state where you can go to gym, because what often happens, and what was my case, that when you have a lot of pain, you're actually afraid to damage yourself, and as other people on this podcast shared with you, we are living in a culture of muscles where everybody, the advertisement goes around, you gotta push to get the strength.
Push through.
Exactly. And it's not just about the body, but it's also the mental approach very often. So in going to gym where the trainer is just going to push me, knowing all the situation I have, I was afraid that I'm going to get more damaged. So I would stop doing activities I would do, and it just goes into a vicious cycle. And so after that I did find the Feldenkrais Method, which is one of the somatic education method. The Feldenkrais is the main cornerstone of my practice, if you wish. So it's a method which was developed at the same time as Pilates, as Alexander technique, and many other humanistic movement techniques. And it actually happened between the two world wars, when people were, especially in Germany, but in many other places, they were looking into the body and how to, nourish it and how we can support it and be connected with it. And it's a system and its approach to the body through the movement. In Feldenkrais Method, what we say is the body is a holistic system. So anything that happens to it influences everything else. And you can clearly see that there are sensation, feeling, movement, and thinking, and they are all related. If you work with a psychotherapist or the talking therapist, and you relieve some emotional baggage and you feel good, your posture changes, the way you approach life changes, the way you think changes. What we do in Feldenkrais, we do the same, but we access it through the movement, through the body. So we are bypassing the cognitive, and we are going directly into the nervous system through the body. Because movement is one of the very first languages we learned as babies. We moved in the belly of our mother. We explored the world through movement. We explored ourselves and discovered ourselves through movement. So if we use the movement as a messenger to work with the nervous system, it actually accesses much more directly, and we can do much more powerful changes to the nervous system in terms of re-equilibration and changing the neurological connections for better in this way.
Very nice, and I hadn't heard before about this, so it's very interesting to learn. Anna, your focus is the McTimoney technique.
Yeah, McTimoney technique is an English technique. I don't know if we have more European technique, but maybe it's the only one. I'm not sure, but certainly it should be only one. And it's a technique that was born working with horses.
Wow.
Chiropractor, an English chiropractor who was working with horses. Then in the beginning of chiropractic, they created a technique that they call it toggle recoil. And then it's based in this movement, and we apply in different part of the body where we feel that we should use it, but there are not strength move or wrist position. Then that's allow us to apply in babies, in pregnant women, in old people, in osteoporosis, in rheumatoid arthritis, that in all kind of disease or all kind of people that normally they couldn't receive chiropractic care. With MACT, you are safe.
Okay, so it's a very safe technique.
Yeah.
And what I read is that you also do this on babies. So why would a newborn need chiropractic?
The moment of the delivery, it's a really huge transition, obviously from one media from another, to be two person to be one, even if the baby doesn't know at the beginning, because go through labor
Birth canal?
Yeah, it could be damaging for the baby and obviously for the central nervous system.
Okay.
And the nervous system should know how adapt to this new world. Then we try to verify always cranial junction, atlas, axis, how they move, and the baby feels really good after.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard before that this is something that could be needed,
Yeah,
but it's great
even
to know.
for now it's really common. The moms talk about the tight tongue because some problems for breastfeeding.
Okay.
With Cairo, we work over tight tongue because even the position of the occipital and the maxillary bones. But we should take care about that because the lingual nerve is really superficial. We know like a couple months ago only, and sometimes we need to get the chance of their nervous system to move better to arrive, to improve the information to this muscle, and maybe the power is in their body and they don't need a section or this, but you have all that you need inside of you. Then only I'm there, like I always say, like I'm like a chair. I'm only there to support your body, to give you all that you need.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you.
I just wanted to add, because we both work with the nervous system, just using different techniques.
Yeah.
And it's very much true that the nervous system is so intelligent. It does the marvels for making us function, to do everything that it needs to do to keep us alive while we are busy with this, whatever we're busy with. And like in case with babies, also from Feldenkrais perspective and any somatic work, also with children with disabilities or, just at the beginning of the life, sometimes the nervous system has a very, or the human beings and their nervous system has a very particular stages of development and the ways that things have to develop. Like, for example, crawling has to come before walking because that's a natural way. And sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe stress during the delivery or something else, the baby doesn't manage to learn that, or the nervous system doesn't manage to arrive to that step. So everything after that is closed for them. And with these techniques, we can actually just facilitate their learning at that specific stage, and the rest is going to come.
Yeah.
So we really like, as you say, chair, a facilitator.
And it's incredible because the parents say like, wow, in one day he doesn't crawl, and now, because maybe it was only a restriction.
Yeah.
Now the restriction is not here. And it
Wow.
goes.
That sounds wonderful. And you both speak about the body with such knowledge and also such trust in it that it knows what to do. You're just supporting it. And do you think that nowadays in society we need more and more of this support because what we do, for example, sitting behind a desk every day, it's not very natural.
Yeah. I think we are restricting our movement, and our body need like USB, like the USB for our central system is eyes, maxillaries, and feet. And even for feet, the people wear like shoes that they don't make feel nothing. It's like you are walking, like closing your eyes.
Yeah.
You don't do that, or even you need to move like that. You give information to your body. Where are you? What are you doing? How to arrange?
Yeah, very.
And I think that in this movement, all the information that we get to keep in health our body come from outside. Somebody tell you what to eat. Somebody tell you what to put in your skin.
Yeah.
Why? No.
Very nice. Yes.
As a work, I came into my work through my own pain, and I went on a journey to help other people figure it out and live a pain-free life. And very quickly into my journey, but also into my work with other people, I realized that there are much more layers to that we often think. So when we think of pain, we think, oh, my knee hurts, so something has got to be wrong with the knee. And, you go to the physiotherapy, and unfortunately, very often they still just work with the knee while, it's connected to other parts as well. I mean, they have their place in the system, and they are doing an amazing job. Just sometimes there is that limiting belief. And as you're saying, nowadays, the more we go into technology, the more we are getting disconnected from our bodies. And it's hard to stay connected because we are so far away from our natural habitat, from being in nature, from, as you said, like walking barefoot, like sensing the ground, from looking far away with our eye rather than the 30 centimeters in front of ourselves, and all things like that. And many of the clients I work with, some come to me and say, like, I sit in front of the computer and I start to have pain. I stand up, I'm fine, And some say they feel they are tense all the time.
Yeah, like
but
your shoulders up to your ears.
And they don't know how to release. They really don't know. And the truth is that our mental state and our physical state, they are always synchronized. So the moment you get in stress in your head, your body gets stressed. The moment you get stress in your body, you get stress in your mind. And because we are always stressed, so it creates this loop where you feel the stress in your body. So your nervous system is like, why am I gonna put stress on and then relax all this time? I'd rather just keep the stress mode on because, we are in stress anyways. And then it feeds back the loop saying, you see, body is tense, so we must watch out. And it creates this vicious cycle. And with many of the cases of chronic pain or other chronic symptoms that are medically unexplained, like fibromyalgia,
like IBS,
yes,
IBD,
even irritable bowel syndrome or migraines and things like that. What I see is there is a pain and physical, it's a symptom, and it's real, even though it's created in your brain because it's a neurological response to the circumstances. It's real. Your pain is real, even if the doctors cannot find anything there. But it's a symptom, so it's your body screaming for help, and that's the only way it found to get your attention. So for somebody it's going to be this pain, for other person it's going to be something else. It can be chronic anxiety.
Oh yes.
Or like going into depression. It's basically your whole system screaming for help and telling you something's wrong, we feel in danger, do something. But what I see if I dig deeper at another next layer, I see that all of the symptoms, what they have in common is a huge disconnection from your own body, that you ignore your symptoms, you ignore whatever signals your body sends to you that, oh, I need to rest right now, or I'd like this, or I'd like that. We just learned to ignore it so much to be the performing, like just doing whatever needs to be done, that we don't know anymore how to connect to that. And with many people I work, take a step back, and we need to go to learn how to sense and notice emotions. So how to, just notice what is there.
Yeah.
to improve the sensory awareness of what's going on in your body.
Very nice. Both of you have a similar mindset to what we need as people, and that we have everything. We just have to listen to our bodies. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your experience as entrepreneurs in Luxembourg. So can you tell me what were some of the steps you took? Did you encounter challenges? What advice you would give?
For me, it's not so much interesting because I'm already physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Then like we are really well regulated. It was easy, but more for me, like I'm Spanish, was more translation, validate the title, but it was really well programmed, well correct. And for Cairo was to add the activity. For me, the major problem is the marketing.
Yeah.
Or because I'm a health professional, I always work for a health system. Then it's what now the patient should pay. I should sell something. Why is health? It's a pity because in a lot of country, chiropractic care is covered by the medical system because all of them take studies that they reduce in huge amount the depends of health system. Then they say, okay, we're gonna invest in chiropractic because that makes
it's preventative and not reactive.
Yeah, and even if you don't need to pay like a surgery for an hernia, the patient go to the chiro, and then the hernia is not more a problem, and maybe they don't need to spend all this money. And we know that the pandemic of our cycle is the lumbar pain.
Yeah,
is the highest consultation in hospital. The first cause of death that is not an illness is sedentarism.
Okay.
Then you should invest in chiro and movement because it's gonna, I think, keep a lot of money for health system.
Okay.
And I see people like spend like thousands of euros in a bed and don't spend any euros in to keep their health in well shape.
Yeah.
Then I'm trying to learn this part, but it's not easy, and marketing in health I find it's quite difficult.
Yes, it's tricky for sure.
Mm.
And how about you, Irina?
Well, I'm not coming from the medical system, so it's been a little bit more challenging, I would say. But I share the feeling regarding the lack of preventative medicine, and also in terms of mindset, because in the modern society, but also Luxembourg, I think, is particular place in those terms. Many people come here to push. So they are not ready to prevent.
Yeah.
And then somatic work, it's completely outside of the medical system. So it's alternative and complementary medicine, which is not recognized or covered by anything. And I have to educate people, unfortunately. I mean, also Feldenkrais is not very known in Luxembourg. We don't have, we only have a handful of practitioners, and very few of them practice as a main activity. So I have to educate about the methodology and the approach, but also I had to come to terms or like accept internally that because I still work with people one-to-one, so in a way I trade my time for my work, so I cannot work in thousands, at least at the moment, except the group lessons, but that's a separate point. And I had to accept that if people are not ready, to invest into themselves, at least as much as they invest into their mattress, then they are not ready yet for this kind of work. And as I said before, typically people have a specific sequence of specialists they see before they come to me. So by the time they come to me, they've tried some alternatives at least, and they already realize that I'm not going to fix them. I'm going to help them to get better on their own. And I need that mindset for them to get better. Because if they still want a quick fix, and we work with the nervous system, as Anna said, the back pain is one of the top reasons people go to the doctors. And a lot of that back pain is actually of neuroplastic origin, what we call, which means that it doesn't have the physical injury behind it as a reason. So it's a learned response, can be to stress, can be to, sedentary kind of living, which is also stressed on the body, can be related to the accumulation of trauma responses from as long as childhood trauma, and just, you had your history and then suddenly something happens at the job and it just drops the last drop of water, and it all goes awry. So the marketing is a difficult part, but I think all of us have to go through this, especially people in our domain that we go here to help others, and we do it for free if anybody gave us food, but unfortunately we still cannot survive by breathing the air only. And I think that's a hard part for us, which we need to learn to shift that mindset, that in order to be able to help others, I need to be in a good place myself, so that I know that I have food on my table, that my minimum expenses are covered, because then I can be there for my clients 100%. Many people, unfortunately, or for their reasons, do this complementary and alternative practices as a hobby. So they don't need a financial, they don't need it as a job. So they have some other source of job, or the spouse or something. So, and they put the pricing, which is, if you do the numbers, they cannot even get the minimum salary on it. And we have a lot of practitioners like that in Luxembourg, so that creates a little
price dumping, so to say.
Exactly. So
interesting,
especially if you go into, even massage or things like that, because if you are in a complementary domain, they typically start to relate you to those things. But if you really look into the numbers, you cannot make the living. So you can actually have to find your own stand and your own understanding that I need this system to function. I need to be well for my clients to be well. And
that's very interesting. Very interesting, because indeed, how do you justify that your service is more expensive than of somebody else? But
it's also about this, what I find that people who are ready, who've done their work on their own, and they already came to a conclusion that the mind-body connection needs to be improved, and they need to kind of do something themselves, those people I don't have a problem
convincing.
I mean, I don't even have to convince. They know that, okay, they need to pay, but they know what they are getting for it. The trick is with the people who are like, I'm still okay, it hurts on a daily basis, but I'd rather go on a vacation. And then they're just not my client, because they are not ready for a change, and that's fine.
But
that's a hard thing to learn.
I can
sometimes
imagine.
you have patients that have, I try all things, I'm coming to, because I see some videos in TikTok, and I'm coming to try if chiropractic help. It's not gonna work.
Okay, very interesting, because you can already see what their mindset is towards what you're going to do.
Because they didn't understand how the nervous system is working. Then it's not one day that's gonna fix all your 50 years of sitting and don't move, and
it's a process.
Whatever.
Yes, exactly.
But the beautiful part with this work is, even though I always say to my clients that we have the first session, and for you to try and to feel, to see how you relate to me, if you feel safe with me, and the technique really works for you. It takes a number of sessions for your nervous system to make sense out of what we're doing. Do you feel the difference? But the beautiful part is that once we get the change, it's there to stay.
Exactly.
Because if the nervous system learned something, if it improved the way it's organized, it clicked. So you take that with you into the rest of your life. You're gonna put things on and improve further, which is in contrast to, if you just, I come for a quick fix, and then something is done to you, but it's not like you learned and you're self-sustainable entity to go with it further.
Very interesting. Exactly, because if you're looking for the quick fix, this is not the mindset you need to have to improve over time. Very nice, ladies. You really shared a world of knowledge and opened, I hope for our listeners, a new paradigm of how they can come back to what is important, come back to their bodies, connect. So thank you very much for being here. I'm looking forward to meeting you again, to have you back on to tell us more. and happy holidays.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. See you next week on Open Mic Life.